Hi and welcome to this video. You may have heard that Google held the Flutter Interact in December 2019. In that event, Google announced some updates to Flutter, including one easy and very useful package that Google announced was Google Font. As you know, Google Fonts is one of the best resources for selecting and browsing the fonts for your application. They said that since 2010, Google Font has served 34 trillion components for design. So it is the best way to build a dynamic and cached design. Normally, what we used to do is that we search for a font, we download the font, and then we integrate it into our application. But in the Flutter Interact 2019, Google introduced a new package that we can use, which makes it very easy and fast to implement the Google font into your application. So let's first go through the usual way of integrating the font into the Flutter app. First, we need to go to Google Fonts and download the fonts. For example, this one. You select this font, you go here, and you download the font. After that, you go to your Flutter application. This is a new Flutter application, the famous counter application. So here, first we create a new directory in the root and we call it assets. Inside the assets, we copy the font that we downloaded and we paste it inside the assets. Okay. So first, download the font. Second, create assets and paste the font into the folder, assets folder. Number 3, we have to go to pubspec.yaml and specify the font that we just put in our project directory. There is an example here that is very useful and you can follow this one. You can just uncomment this font and then family and then font asset. Okay, now we say the fonts and family is the name of the family that you downloaded from the Google. And then fonts asset inside the location of the font assets and the name of the file inside the assets folder, which is dancing script. And then we hit packages get. Okay, now that was the third step. The fourth step is to actually use the font inside our application. To show how to use this one, I create a text underneath the counter here and say this is the old way. And then we add style, text style, and then we say font family, and we only state the name of the font. And then maybe we set the size 40, for example. Okay, now we have the text here with the font that we selected. Now, what is the new way of doing this? First, we need to go to pub.dev, the resources and the database of all the Flutter packages. Here we search for Google font. In the Google fonts, we see how to install this package. We need to add these two dependencies. We go to pub spec YAML. Underneath this, we add Google fonts. Packages git. Now inside the application, I will add another text underneath the previous one. I say this is the new way. And now here, instead of what we used to write before, we say style, just style. And then we say Google fonts dot the font family name. I just choose, we have thousands of fonts. I just choose this one, for example. Okay, we have the new text appear in the application. This is too small. So how do we change and customize this text? Before we used to have text style, text style, and then we customize our text. Now inside the style, we have Google font. And to change the style, we do this inside the Google fonts. So here we say text style, and then we say text style, and inside we say font size 40, for example, maybe 35. Okay, this is the new way. Again, the old way, the first step is to download the font. The second step is to add it to assets folder. The third step, add it to pub/spec.yaml file. The fourth, we can use it in our code. The new way, first you install the package inside the pub/spec.yaml. Second, you use it in your code, and you need to import the Google font as well. So it's much easier just in 2 steps compared to 4 steps before. And I have to mention that if you don't like this font in the old way, we have to go through Google Fonts again, find another font, download it, put it in the assets, go to pubspec.yaml, add it to the font section, and then you can use it. But in the new way, you just go to Google Fonts, you see the font that you want to use, you select, for example, this one, Railway. You just go to your application, it's already installed Google Fonts. So instead of this font name, you say Railway. And that's all. Compared to old way, this is much easier and much faster. Although you don't need to change the font regularly in your app, but this saves you lots of time. So that's it for this video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.